we're going to be talking about the color wheel and how to mix our own colors. And to do this exercise, we're going to be using our color wheels. Our color mixing packet is 2 pages and watercolor for our paint. Remember that when we do watercolor, we always want to have newspaper under our workspace, a water cup, and a brush. So let's start out by talking about the primary colors again. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, and they are located on your color wheel here. Now red, yellow, and blue are used to make all the other colors in the world. And today we're going to be focusing on the secondary colors that are mixed with the primary colors. So on your page, the first step is to write your name. And now we have some painting to do. On the left-hand side, you'll see the primary color spaces. That's what you need to paint first. So I'm going to get my brush wet in my water cup and put it in my first primary color, which is blue. Now remember, when we use watercolor, we need to gently swirl the brush until that color is nice and juicy. Here we go. I also have a spot over here on the right hand side of my paper to color my blue in. There we go. Now the next color is yellow. So I'm going to clean off my brush and my water and do the same thing for my yellow paint. Remember to swirl gently until that color is nice and juicy. Okay, color in your circle. And again, on the right hand side, you're going to color in yellow on your little paint palette here. Okay, the last primary color we have is red. So I'm going to clean off my brush again and do the same thing for red. I want to swirl gently until that paint is nice and juicy. And I'm good to go. So I'm going to paint this circle spot here. And on the right hand side of my palette also I'm going to paint that. Okay. Remember that the primaries are used to make all the other colors. And we're going to be focusing on the secondary colors. And they are mixed by combining 2 primary colors. So on my little paint palette here, it's telling me to mix blue and yellow. So I'm going to get my yellow paint and circle it in there, and then my blue paint, and when I mix these 2 together I get green. So I'm going to put my green paint while it's still juicy on my brush up in this first circle. Okay, and we've made our first secondary. Now our next one is red and yellow. So again, I'm going to get my yellow, paint in my circle, and while it's still wet so I can still blend it, I'm going to grab some red. Notice that for the darker colors you don't need as much on your brush, you need more of the lighter colors. And the color I end up with is orange. So I'm going to paint orange in my second color up here. Okay? And the last circle for our last secondary color is asking for blue and red. So I'm going to grab my red and then my blue. And when I mix these 2 together, I get violet or purple. So our 3 secondary colors are green, orange, and purple. Okay, this paper is completed now. and on the other sheet you're going to be asked to do similar color mixing activities. So I'm going to set this one aside, have my second paper here. I'm going to write my name on this one also. And my first thing, a set of directions says fill in the primary solutions. So we just made these colors. Now we're just going to make them, and it's going to have you come up with which primaries need to go in that spot. So you want to refer to your first sheet to figure out which colors you need to mix together to get purple. So according to our first sheet, we need red plus blue to get violet. So you're going to paint red in your first circle and blue in your second circle, and that would give you, in fact, purple. And you're going to do the same thing for the next one. How would you get green? Which two primaries would you need to mix for green? And the third problem, which two primaries would you need to mix to get orange? Once you have that complete, you're going to go over to the right-hand side and you're going to mix in the secondary color again. This time, instead of asking for which primaries you're going to mix, it shows you the primaries and you need to paint in the secondary color. Okay? When you're done with both sheets, make sure that your name is on the top, and these are going to go on the wooden dry rack so they can dry.